What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be discussing the box office for this weekend, and there's a lot to talk about this weekend because Minecraft did an incredible job. It had an incredible hold of about 50%, holding to about $80 million is what it made on its second weekend. You had 5 new releases in the marketplace this weekend, which was just a lot of new movies coming in and a lot of screens that had to be split and a lot of audience variety this weekend at the box office. We had King of Kings, which did an incredible $19 million at the box office this weekend, which is really impressive for that film. It's the highest grossing animated biblical opening weekend of all time for any biblical animation film. It beat out The Prince of Egypt, which opened to about $14 million 27 years ago. And it beat that. So that's very impressive for King of Kings that it was able to beat that. And another hit for Angel Studios. After Sound of Freedom, they're like, can we get another big hit? And this is exactly what they were going for and what they were hoping for this weekend. Let's go over to the top 10 and see what we got here. Obviously, Minecraft, #1, just dominating. That film was down 52%, $78.5 million on its second weekend. The total domestic gross so far for that film is $278 million, which is just insane for that movie. Coming in at #2, we have King of Kings with $19.3 million, which again is an incredible thing for Angel Studios. And then we have #3, we have The Amateur with $14.8 million on its opening weekend. That did really well. Its projections, I think, were projected to be like 12 to 14 million, so it kind of beat out projections just slightly, which is good. #4, we have Warfare, which we will have a review out for very soon. We do have a review out for King of Kings and Minecraft, if you want to check those videos out. We will have a review on Warfare dropping very soon. And speaking of drop, we have #5, we have Drop. And both Warfare and Drop opened decently on this opening weekend. Warfare did okay. It's not incredible for A24. It's an amazing film. You should go see it, but it didn't do an incredible job on its opening weekend, and neither did Drop. Just kind of decent opening weekends. #6, we have The Chosen Last Supper Part 3 with $6 million. #7, we have A Working Man with $3 million, down almost 60% in its third weekend. At #8, we have Disney's Snow White, which is not doing very well at all, which is really interesting. It lost a ton of screens, okay? It lost over 1,200 theaters, basically just kicked it out of the theater. That's really bad. That is really, really bad, especially the fact that it's only its fourth weekend and it's already losing that many theaters is insane. And that domestic gross is exactly why it lost all those theaters. Only $82 million on its entire domestic run. To put that in perspective, Disney has another live-action remake coming out called Lilo and Stitch, the live-action remake, and that film is tracking to open over $100 million. So in just one weekend, Lilo and Stitch will have made more money at the domestic box office than Snow White has made in 4 weekends, which is just staggering. It's just insane. Now coming in at #9, we have Woman in the Yard with a little over $2 million, down 54%. That film's up to $20 million. And then coming in at #10, we have The Chosen Last Supper Part 2 with a little under $1 million, down 86%. That film is up to $10 million, or that show, I should say, is up to $10 million. Now let's move on and talk about something else. Some other tracking that dropped a few days ago was the Lilo and Stitch, speaking of Lilo and Stitch, and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. They both come out on the same day, and they both got their 6-week in advance tracking. Now, the 6-week tracking is actually, despite the fact that it's very early, tends to be pretty reliable. Usually pretty reliable. So looking at these numbers that they've got for it, it says Lilo and Stitch is eyeing $100 million plus on its 3-day opening, and it doesn't give an exact number for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, but it says that it is eyeing a record 3-day for the franchise, well north of 2018's Mission Impossible Fallout's $61 million. So it's looking to open well north of $61 million. So that is extremely impressive by both films. If Mission Impossible was to break the franchise record for its opening weekend, and I think this is probably because it's being marketed as the final Mission Impossible film, whether it is or not. You never know with these franchises that have 8 films in it. Tom Cruise is getting a little older, so you never know. But they're marketing it as the final Mission Impossible film, so it's probably why it's getting this much attention. But Lilo and Stitch going over 100 million would be incredibly impressive considering Disney just had Snow White, which was an absolute bomb. So extremely impressive for both of those films if they were to do that. But because they both come out on the same day, it does, obviously start the conversation of whether or not this is going to be a Barbenheimer situation, because these two films are huge and they're going to be huge. But, I don't think it's going to get to Barbenheimer level. And I'm already is it Mission Stitch or Lilo Impossible? What do you guys think? I vote Mission Stitch. I think Lilo Impossible sounds cooler, but it's it doesn't really mean anything. Like Lilo Impossible, what does that mean? But Mission Stitch, it feels like it means something. So it's comprehensive. Lilo Impossible or Mission Stitch? I'm going with Mission Stitch. What do you guys think? Let me know it down in the comments below. But yeah, this is great because Memorial Day weekend last year, if you guys will remember, we had Furiosa and Garfield both open, and the total amount of money that the box office made that Memorial Day weekend, again, all the numbers that we're talking about here are 3-day weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Memorial Day weekend is actually a 4-day weekend, so because Memorial Day takes place is on a Monday. So you have a 4-day window there, and it's called the Memorial Day weekend. You have the 4-day weekend. And the 4-day weekend last year was $132 million for all combined titles, which is a historic low and horrible. Absolutely just horrible. And post-COVID, the best Memorial Day weekend of all titles was in 2022 with $223.7 million from Friday to Monday. That's when Top Gun Maverick came out and broke a bunch of records. So that was a huge Memorial Day weekend. It was a really good Memorial Day weekend, and it was the biggest post-COVID. However, the biggest all-time was in 2013 when the box office combined totaled $314 million for all combined titles, which is really impressive. I mean, it stood the test of time since 2013. It's the biggest Memorial Day weekend of all time. So, can Lilo and Stitch, or Mission Stitch, I should say, can it really beat $314 million? I mean, I think if they open high enough, I think you've got a really good chance. Since these are 3-day numbers, if these were the 4-day numbers, I would say maybe not. But these are the 3-day numbers, so you have to, account for that extra day that's going to be big. It's Memorial Day to get that extra day in. So again, I think it has a really good shot of beating that $314 million. I think it easily will break the record for the best Memorial Day weekend post-COVID, easily. $223 million, I think, will be a piece of cake for this. But the question is, can it get to $314 million for all combined titles? So we'll see if that is the case. Well, let's talk about next weekend. Next weekend we have one big movie coming out. Next weekend is Sinners. It is Easter weekend, so expect it to be a little bit of a bigger weekend. Minecraft, I think, is currently tracking between $40 and $50 million for its third weekend, and Sinners is tracking between $30 and $40 million. However, if you take into consideration the fact that it has a 100% score, a Rotten Tomatoes score right now, and it's been holding that for a bit, you're definitely going to get probably some good word of mouth here, and people are going to go see it because of how high that score is, and the word of mouth for this thing is going to be really, really huge. So I would not be surprised to see this thing do 50 million. I really wouldn't. I'm not going to say it's going to do 50 million. My projection personally for this film is probably going to be somewhere around 44.6 million. But it would not blow my mind to see it get to 50 million. I think it could get there. I think it'll be tough, but I think it can. Because I think Minecraft and Sinners are both going for two very different audiences, so neither of them are going to kind of get in the way of each other. And so I think that both of them can do their own thing. And I think that Sinners probably can get to 50 million, but I'm going to kind of play it safe and say 44.6. That's where I'm going with it. Alright, well, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so help us get there. And let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of what Minecraft's doing? What do you think of Sinners? Do you think it's going to open to 50 million? And what in the world do you think of Mission Stitch? And which one do you like better, Lilo Impossible or Mission Stitch? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.